One of the problems with recruiting for investment banking is not the knowledge or skills you acquire, but the access to talk with real investment bankers to put your best foot forward. Our sponsor, WSO Academy, can provide those connections with 60 head mentors who are finance professionals at top firms like Goldman, Centerview, and JP Morgan. Imagine being able to get on the phone within 24 hours with one of the Academy's 1,300 mentors right before a critical interview. Get on the waitlist for WSO Academy today by clicking the link in the show notes or by visiting wallstreetoasis.com/academy. All right. Welcome to Investment Banking Insights, the only podcast dedicated to helping you learn both the technical and non-technical aspects of investment banking. My name is Alex Mason, and I am your host. Thank you so much for joining me. And what are we learning? What are we doing here? We're trying to get better in investment banking, of course. We're trying to learn the skills that we need for our interviews, things that will help us further in our careers, whether we're pivoting careers like I am, or whether we're continuing on this finance and banking path. So that's what we're doing. And today I want to talk to you about a concept within leveraged buyouts. That's the domain we're talking about right now. Specifically, the question is this: what is a dividend recapitalization? What is a dividend recapitalization? And don't worry, if that term is like a lot for you, that's okay. Don't worry, we're going to break it down. All of these finance terms are very figure outable, especially if we break them into simple components. So that's exactly what we're going to do right now. So first of all, let's break this up into two words: dividend. What is a dividend? Well, we've talked about this on the show before, but just as a reminder, a dividend is a payment, usually a cash payment, that's made by the company's management to its shareholders. And historically, it's been an important way that businesses have provided a return to the people who own the company. Dividends are another source of returns. If you buy a dividend paying stock, for example, you're going to get paid in cash just for owning the stock. So it's one way that companies reward their shareholders. And then let's look at this second term, recapitalization. What is a recapitalization? Well, one portion of this word, capital, that just means money, right? And so that prefix means like we're kind of changing something, we're doing something that's causing a change. So recapitalization, we're changing something related to money. But we can just kind of call this a recap for short. So a recap is when the capitalization structure of the business gets changed, usually because of a transaction. So we're shifting around the way this business is structured financially. That's what a recapitalization is. So now we put these two terms back together. Let's understand what a dividend recapitalization is. A dividend recap is when a PE firm performs a leveraged buyout and then after the deal is done, uses the company to borrow money and pay themselves a dividend. So a company is made up of a certain ratio of equity and debt. And so essentially what this is the private equity firm is loading up the company with debt. And then because of that raised cash is now in the bank account of the business, they can then pay themselves a dividend. And this has definitely been controversial in the past and is looked down upon in some circles because the PE firm is like cashing out and just paying themselves. But it's a way for private equity firms to boost their returns and realize a big payout before they even sell the company. Because remember, the company is responsible for the debt, not the private equity firm. So there can be issues with this sometimes because it increases the leverage on the company and it places this greater burden on its cash flows. So whoever is going to be the new owner of the company, whoever buys the company from the private equity firm, they're going to be the ones that have to deal with this debt. And so it's not like a free lunch by any means, but it is a way to increase returns from the leveraged buyout side, from the buyer side. And as an analogy here, you can think about this in the way that some real estate investors operate. So some real estate investors, sometimes they'll buy a property, they'll rent it out, and then after a couple of years, when there's enough equity in the home, they'll do something called a cash out refinance of the property. And essentially what this is once they have enough equity in their property, they'll increase their leverage. So they'll extract out this equity in order to pay themselves some cash without even having to sell the property itself or give up the stream of cash flows that that rental property generates. So that's an analogy from the real estate investing world that you can think about when you're thinking about what is a dividend recapitalization. Okay, that's what I got for you today here on Investment Banking Insights. I hope you have an incredible day. I really do. I hope you have just an awesome day. Whatever you're doing, you're going to work, you're going to school, wherever you're going to and from, maybe you're going to the gym. I hope that you're just really enjoying it and living life to the fullest because today will never be repeated. So, with that, I'll leave you with that. I hope you have a wonderful one. Take care.